I just knocked over Peach.
You have no shame?
It's a mouse
She's
game.
fine. It's a choose your own adventure.
Yes. Oh, I wanted to. We can do the whole intro. Are we going to be reading it out loud?
Yes, until I run out of breath.
Which you did halfway through that sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
How about you read aloud and I support you?
Okay. So, we played the original sorcery all the way through, and then we were midway through this sorcery number 2, and
then we
stopped.
died. No, I'm just kidding. It was just for the insurance money.
We died for the insurance money?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, good. The
What?
mic is on top. I was like,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
we're way too quiet, but no, we're way too
Alright.
stupid.
So we're continuing with our story from there. The Crown of Kings has been stolen by the Archmage and taken across the Backlands to Mampang. You have been sent to get it back. Should you fail, the whole of Kakabad will surely fall.
It's a lot of made-up words.
From the outpost settlement in Analand, you crossed the Shamutanti Hills. Across the way, you traveled with a Minimite who almost cost you your life, completed the wizard trials at Dadule, and fought and killed the dreaded Manticore. You faced starvation and deadly traps. To survive, you used your blade often, and your intelligence frequently, but always acted cautiously with honor and compassion. Your spirit guide changed as you changed, becoming the gorilla. But now all of that seems a distant memory, for you are approaching Kare, the city port of traps. Founded on a ford of the Jabaji River, Kare was once a camp for the pirates who ambushed merchants sailing from Lake Lumley to the sea. But the camp grew. It became a village, the village became a town, and now Kare is a magnet for ne'er-do-wells and thieves, ruled over by a council of villains. We have a choice here.
That's not a choice at all.
I say we be brave.
Yes, we're brave.
It is a place of treachery and traps. You will have to be constantly on your guard as you cross. Your goal is the North Gate, the only entrance to the Backlands and the next stage of your journey. For the good of the kingdom, you must enter the city port of traps and make it out alive. You can't go around for reasons. Magical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're wondering, like, hey, why did the game audio cut out? This game just doesn't have audio sometimes.
It's originally a mobile game.
Yep.
There we are in all our glory.
It's originally a book series turned into a mobile game ported to the PC.
Oh, I didn't know it was starting off as a book.
Yep.
Legit.
Twilight already. The great city of Kare has loomed large on the horizon all day, but has been slow to reach. The path tracing great loops back and forth through a deep and narrow pass. We get little illustrations from the book there. You have not seen a living soul except once, when a dark figure raced across the hilltops overhead and then was lost from view. So you were naturally cautious when you round a bend in the path and see a beggar crouched low against a rock, muttering to himself.
Very cute.
So cute. You stop, out of sight behind an outcrop, but the beggar does not look like much of a threat.
Oh, let's try to slip past.
That sounds like getting ambushed.
Alright, we can approach him.
You call a greeting and stride over, and the man leaps to his feet, drawing a short stick from inside his cloak. "Who goes there?" he demands. "What's your business in Kare?"
I'm a traveler?
Yeah, sure. "I am a traveler." The man pokes his stick at you. "A traveler? Traveling where?"
Kare.
"Kare." "Obviously Kare, but why?" He prods harder. "Answer me or you'll face the consequences."
What consequences?
What consequences? Better you don't find out, he replies darkly. I am the city guard. No one enters Kare except through me! And then, despite his age and clear ill health, he comes at you waving his stick.
I won't fight you.
I won't fight you, you tell him. You are unarmed. He waves the stick close to your face, jabbing a few times, but you push the point aside with one hand. All right then, he declares. We'll settle this fairly. He tosses the stick to one side and raises his fist. The knuckles are blackened with scabs.
I still won't fight you.
I still won't fight you, you reply. I mean it. The beggar makes a short braying noise like a laugh and then lamps you on the nose. It is surprisingly painful and he is readying for another swing.
Let's try to step away. We still have 18 stamina.
Okay. You step back, and with that, the fight seems to drain from him. He sits down again, suddenly sad. Very well, he moans. You're right, I suppose. I can't defend the city on my own.
You're very brave.
You're very brave, you tell him kindly. Am I? He asks, looking up. I don't feel brave. I'm still alive. Doesn't that make me a coward? He shivers. You don't have any food, do you? He asks, sadly.
It's hard.
But we have none. No, you shake your head. I'm sorry. The man sighs and shakes his head. No matter then. There's plenty of meat on a grass vole if you know how to nibble 'em.
Should we ask him to come with us?
Well, I watched Germa play this game, and I know that yes, we should.
Oh. Then here he comes.
You take pity on the man. Come with me. I'm going into Kare. The soldier considers your offer for a moment. You're sure? I know the word for the wall.
He knows the word.
But they will not want to let me through the gate. It sounds like we can help each other. He clambers slowly to his feet. A gleam of hope has entered the poor man's eyes. Very well then, stranger. A trade. Follow the pass. The beggar walks a few strides ahead, the ghost of a military pace in his step.
What's your name?
What's your name? You ask. Captain Thomas of the 4th Legion, responsible for the southern perimeter. He knocks his bony heels together. At your service.
What you doing out here?
What are you doing out here, soldier? We were sent out to investigate sightings, whole legion of us, back when the council felt bold, but then they locked the gate and wouldn't let us back. They locked you out of the city?
Yeah.
They locked you out of the city? They locked the goblins out, he replies. If the goblins were gone, they'd let us in, but they aren't gone. They're in the rocks.
What are the goblins doing?
What are the goblins doing, you ask? He shakes his head. I don't know. They can't get through the walls. But then, I think I've heard them digging, scraping at the mud in the night. The path winds through gorse and thick grass. Kare squats in a basin in the hills like a stagnant, festering pool. You turn one corner, then another, and then the stone walls of the city are looming over you. The walls weren't built to keep anything out. They were here before the goblins, Thomas says. They were built to keep people in. Kare is one gigantic trap itself. And you want to go back?
Yeah.
Of course I do, he shrugs. It's my home. You could scramble up the slope to the right to get a better view of the wall. I feel like that would make us more visible.
Yes, that was what I was thinking. But the clearing's also visible. Well, I think the clearings are only entry point though, so...
Yeah.
How are we gonna hide this dude?
You step out of the pass into the clearing. An arrow whizzes past your shoulder. You look up to see a guard on top of the wall who cocks a second arrow to his bowstring. But he's a girl.
Who goes there?
He bellows.
Friend or foe?
Friend? Let Thomas answer, actually.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
You wait, and Thomas cries back, Friend! And the watchword is Kantapani! The guard pauses a moment, then lowers her bow.
Oh, just the word to get into the gate. I see.
Thomas turns and smiles at you. The south gate stands before you. It is as tall as 2 men and would be broad enough to ride 3 horses through if only it were open. But instead it's locked and there is no other way into the city. Luckily, of course, you have a key. Why do we have a key?
Apparently, the Sven Chiefs gave us the key.
What? How did you know?
Because that's what it said.
Oh. Oh, that's right. We were given a key for saving the princess or whatever.
Good for us.
In the last chapter.
We're just do-gooders.
Over to you, says Thomas, stepping back. Well, let's just use the key, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You quickly remove the Sven Chief's key from your pack and slip it into the lock. The tumblers click as the key turns. Thomas hangs back. Good work, but do you think it's safe to go through?
We could wait, or we can just go first.
Well, if the guards saw us, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go first, then.
I'll go first, you reply. You ease open the door, peering cautiously inside. There is no one about. How is it? Thomas hisses from outside.
Seems safe enough.
It's weird for there to be nobody here, though.
Maybe we can make a run for it.
Oh, you want to just leave this guy?
Oh, no, I mean, Thomas and us can, like, sprint into the city.
He's an old man of ill health. I don't think he can sprint
He
2
did
paces.
hit us pretty hard.
Yeah, and so he's very tired. Wait there a moment longer, you advise, and he nods. The yard by the gate seems empty enough. A path leads away past a low stone building with barred windows.
Hurry out of the yard?
Well, then we just leave him behind, I think. Oh, but the thing about this game is that you can rewind at any time if you don't like a choice. Just like in a choose your own adventure book when you hold the page with your finger. So wait, if we hurry out of the yard. You quickly stride away from the gate, but you are only halfway to the road when 2 soldiers come around the corner from the left. Leave them to me, Thomas hisses, rushing in through the gate and pushing you back behind the building. He begins hollering crazily. The soldiers see him immediately and rush him. He weaves this way and that across the yard, manages to slip between them, and disappears with a whoop down the road to the left.
He knows what he's doing.
The yard falls suddenly quiet once more. Sorry, my nose is itchy because of allergies. You straighten up and hear a noise through the barred window of the stone building. A sneeze?
I guess there's someone that you can rescue here, or talk to.
Well, let's look. The building might be useful. It might be a storehouse, or better yet, an armory. Standing on tiptoes, you peer in between the bars. Not a storehouse, then. The building is quite bare, except for a wooden bench on which an old man is sitting.
He might know something about the gate we need to get through.
I guarantee you he doesn't. Because I know what you're talking about, the North Gate. It requires it requires like a poem made of 4 different lines, all of which are known by city officials.
Okay, then let's continue into Kare.
Leaving the building and its occupant, you hurry away across the yard. The road leads away in both directions. You don't have time to consider them too carefully. There will be more guardsmen on patrol soon enough. Well, he went this way. Do we want to follow him?
Yeah.
He might know something about this city. You head off down the street to the left, which quickly enters a wide yard. There are a couple of large buildings on the far side and an arch that leads north.
Examine the building?
You know, what building is this? You pause to look at the buildings. They seem to be a barracks of some kind. Just then, a troop of armed guards appear through the arch and you realize where you are. You've stumbled onto their training ground.
I guess we approach the guards.
You stride right up to the guards. You there, you declare. Why wasn't there anyone to meet me at the gate? The man looks baffled. What gate? Who are you?
Ambassador? Can always rewind.
I think Analand is like almost considered fictional by some people.
Hmm.
Let's say we're a mage, because we are a mage. I'm the new chief mage of Kare. The guard looks panicked now. No one told no one told us you were coming, sir.
I should turn you into a frog. Or do you just want to go no matter?
I should turn you into a frog. Sir, the guard clicks his heels together. What can I do for you, sir?
Alright.
Take me to the north gate. The guard peers at you. The north gate? Why, no one goes there. It's haunted, cursed, and locked.
That's why I'm here? Or are you questioning me?
Yeah, if he's afraid of us. Are you questioning me? No, sir. This way, sir. Oh, he's leading us back. Wait, I don't want to go back, though. I want to find the dude.
Alright, we can go back. He must have not gone that way then.
No, it said he went left. Remember? He disappeared down the road to the left.
Hide behind the building.
Wait, let's tell him we're a mage, and then... Oh. Okay. Yep, you're right. Oh, whoops. Okay. So...
It doesn't give you the hide behind the building choice unless
Oh.
you look at the arch.
Interesting. Okay. So let's hide. Okay, look through the arc. The arch. I always read that as arc. Let's hide behind the building. You try to make a break for it and get exactly 2 steps away before you're spotted. Strong, expert hands grab your wrists. You are dragged, pulled, and forced around the corner and into the low building.
So, I guess that dude is gone? Is he in the prison?
The door of the stone building is slammed and the lock turns over behind you. Should we,
Go back, yeah.
What if we look through the arch,
And run for it?
and then run for it?
Okay. No.
Exact same dialogue. Wait, did I accidentally click?
No.
You saw that I
You
clicked?
clicked on run for it?
Okay. What if we run for it from the building? Okay, no. You cannot run for it.
Thomas is busy.
Oh well.
Gotta rewind more.
What if we say we're an ambassador? Well, I really tried. The thing about this, since it's a port of it, like right now, I'm highlighting examine the building. I have to move my mouse to update the location. Okay, so whatever. Approach those guards. I'm from Analand. Oh. Oh, okay. Whatever.
And we're on our way. There's no music during this part. Unless I accidentally turned off the music.
Nope.
It's on.
The guard marches along the road and you follow until you reach the top of the south gate yard. Sir, I can't leave my post, sir, the guard says, but if you follow this road, you'll find your way into Kare.
Yep, and from then?
And from there. The quickest route to the center is the main road through the fields, the guard answers. avoids the less pleasant areas of town. You should avoid the festival too, sir, if you value your purse. The guard clicks his heels. You frown severely, then take your leave as quickly as possible.
Mm.
Night is falling. Luckily, by the roadside is a small inn, which will make a perfect place to stay before you lose yourself in the winding streets of Kare. Alternatively, you could walk into the fields to the right and sleep out into the stars. From somewhere nearby, you hear a low baying howl. Well, we have money. Let's try the inn
Yeah, let's try the inn.
before we lose it all. A sign outside the inn proclaims that the Crooked Finger. You going to sleep, hon?
Nope, I'm just leaning up against you.
Uh-huh. You go inside and find an empty bar. The bartender is snoozing at the counter. Clearly, trade is bad. Okay. The bartender wakes with a snortle as you approach. Greetings, traveler. You'll be looking for directions to somewhere else, I suppose.
I wish to take a room. Haggle?
Yeah, let's haggle. 7 gold pieces is robbery, you tell him. Innkeeper shrugs. Alright, prices might not be what you're used to, he says. But you could sleep in the street if you prefer, and then maybe you'll see why they're as high as they are.
Is it worth it to not get attacked? We can always get more gold from that lovely game of Swindle Stones.
Yeah, we can find players. Let's try it. I appreciate the warning. You put 7 gold pieces down on the counter. The innkeeper nods. Stairs are over there. The man shows you upstairs to a room. It seems clean enough. There are no rats on the bed, and the linen seems to have been washed at least once this month. After a long day of walking, the thought of a real bed is a welcome relief. You settle down. You settle quickly into the straw mattress. The sounds of the city drift to you in the night air. Shouts and screams, and the occasional distinct howl. You doze fitfully. Your dreams, when they come, are of the wall, like a towering monster, drenched in moss and slime, the gate its wide-open maw. As you watch, it reaches down with fingers made from flagpoles and skewers the old beggar man, lifting him flailing into the air. As you make your way inside, guards appear and disappear from holes in the ground like burrowing moles, and it is as though you can see the crown sitting in the dust on the far side of the north gate, so close and yet out of reach. You feel better for your night's rest. Going downstairs, you find the bartender miserably counting coins on the bar. Need anything? He asks, hopefully.
Should we buy ration? Is it cheaper farther up?
Let's see. I wonder if he even has fresh food. Provisions? The innkeeper shakes his head. I don't have any food. Try the Flayer's hut. Middle road up through the fields. He does a good stew. You thank him and take your leave of the inn. Outside, the air tastes fresh. It has rained a little overnight. A little distance from here, a busy crossroads marks the start of the city. Following the track for a few minutes, you reach a junction where 3 roads begin. These are the outskirts of Kare. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks leading uphill into the city port. Should we pause to look?
Yeah.
It must be clear to everyone around that you are a stranger in these parts. The city's inhabitants, a multitude of malevolent creatures who would kill for the laces of your boots, turn to watch you as they pass. You are sport, a figure to be jostled and robbed, and one who will most likely fall prey to the strange, elaborate system of traps laid across Kare by the early settlers to protect themselves from one another.
Should we look at the paths?
There are more people here than you've seen in a long time. You cast an eye across the faces to see if any are Flanker, the assassin you met outside Torapani, Your only friend in this city. We were told to pick the middle path, right?
To avoid the festival?
Yeah, and to avoid the festival. Ahead is the main road into the center of Kare, its surface rutted from cartwheels. Further in the distance, you see fields. This is the route taken by supply wagons to the docks. About a half hour. Oops.
Look left?
Okay. To the left, you see a group of scruffy youngsters walking up the road with packs on their backs.
Okay.
To the right, the track heads towards the fields. A hut stands proud a little further on. The business of this place is confusing, but you will have to simply strike out. The north gate awaits. Just at that moment, a cart rolls down the road from the right and careens around the corner to take the main track ahead. On its back are stacked several crates. One teeters for a moment, then falls near your feet, its lid cracking open.
Look in the crate.
Kneeling down in the mud, you prise open the crate with your fingers. Inside is a pile of smashed bottles. The thick purple liquid swirls about, littered with shards of glass. There are perhaps 4 bottles still intact, but you recognize the smell. It is Blimberry, a potion with many healing properties.
Should we take 2 or take 4?
I bet if we take 4, we'll get...
Caught.
No, I mean, it will get cut on the glass.
Then should we take 2?
Yeah. You take 2 bottles, wipe them down as best you can in the grass nearby, and put them under your pack. A lucky find indeed. Blimberry juice will heal you, and will also do for a meal.
Alright. So we can follow the youngsters, go to the festival, or head on straight. So you know a little bit about where the city officials are hidden. I don't.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
We played it together.
Oh, you just watched German play.
Oh,
But
Germa
not really.
ignored everything, went to the gate, and took the penalty.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, in that case, should we follow the youngsters?
Yeah, sure, it seems to be quite a bit over there. You follow the children with backpacks up the road. Hovels, line the track, and strange faces appear at the windows watching you as you pass. Then from around the bend ahead, a troop of guards appears.
Keep your head low?
Probably just ignore them. Like, we don't want to do anything suspicious.
Okay.
You ignore them. They must have better things to do than harass strangers. But the guards do not ignore you. Oi, you! One of the guards grabs... If anyone's first line is oi, then their voice is, Oi, you! One of the guards grabs you by the arm. You look new here. Are you new?
Yes. We can beat you up.
Yes, I've only just arrived. Then be in your guard, the soldier warns you. There's plenty of ruffians who will pick your pocket while they talk to you. Then, with a sly wink, he and his fellows march away. It is only after he's gone that you realize he stole 4 gold pieces from your pouch while he was close to you.
We can rewind. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
let's
care.
rewind. How dare you? Oh, whoops. We just want to rewind to turn. Hi, Duke. Okay. Blend in with the youngsters.
Can we try that?
You stride quickly forward to join the group of youngsters and attempt to mimic their way of walking. The group are talking about where they will stay. The Wayfarer's Rest or the Meat and Cleaver?
Listen.
You keep your wary face down, and you must have the right slump to your shoulders, as the guards pass straight by with nothing more than a derogatory comment. A pleasant herbal smell drifts from the doorway of a nearby hut. I wonder what happens if we talk to them. Pleasant herbal smell. Well, let's see what it is. Inside is dark, with the smell of rotting straw rising from a pile of mattresses that circle a low table. It is only after a moment that you notice these mattresses are occupied. 3 ugly faces peer at you through clouds of smoke, rising from a hookah pipe that sits on the table.
Oh. Examine?
You look at the 3 creatures, who are staring at you with lazy disinterest. They are black elves, normally clever and vicious creatures, but these 3 only stare vacantly into the clouds of smoke at the top of the hut. Let's leave. This can't be anything good. The smell in the air is sweet and stupefying. You go straight back into the fresh air, then continue up the street. Nothing good could have come of that.
Sounds like a trap.
You continue up the narrow road. It is packed either side with mud brick hovels, but most are deserted. A few creatures pass by, heads turned down. They do not look at you. This part of the city port is barely habited, so should be safe enough to pass through quickly. You pass a drinking fountain, dribbling water into a chipped stone bowl. That's a trap, if I've ever seen one. And we don't need it. Stopping a creature to talk would aggravate them, no doubt. You leave the fountain untested and continue up the road. This part of town feels abandoned, like the drying strip of sand left behind by the falling tide on the beaches of Darulay. A little further on, the road approaches the first stone building you've seen since the hut by the gates. It has windows of glass and a wide yard inside its uneven high wall. Whoever lives here is wealthy and understandably cautious. They have, however, left a fine stallion only loosely tied up outside.
We can examine the horse and undo if something bad happens.
You approach the horse. It snorts nervously, wary of your presence. You might be able to calm it, or even talk to it with the correct spell. Do we have the correct spell? Here we go.
Is it talk?
Magic. What do we got? H-O-T.
No.
That seems like maybe not the correct choice.
Sure would do it though.
Okay. Y-A-Z. Invisibility with a pearl ring. Talk with animals requires a green-haired wig.
Oh, we don't have it.
Okay. Or there's... Sus! Of course. Sense danger. Sap. Cause depression.
Don't.
Why would we depress the horse?
Too bad we can't talk with it.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think... Let's talk to the horse. You try a few words in the common tongue, and then a few whispered in the more gentle language of your boyhood in Chawberry Wood. The animal listens with his ears cocked, giving you strange, distant looks. But, of course it does. It's a horse. Still, it appears calmer in your presence now. Perhaps you've made a friend.
We can leave it.
Now we hit it with a fireball.
Very funny.
Yeah, no, we don't have any other choices. You do not need a horse in Kare anyway, so you step away from the horse and leave it to itself. Yeah, a horse loosely tied in the city of Kare is already gone before you reach it. No doubt. Or it is a trap. Those are the only possibilities. You step through the gate of the house into its wide front yard. It was once a magnificent place with fish ponds, now stagnant, fountains, now cracked and dry, and small groups of quiet trees, now overgrown and gnarled like whispering old men. The building itself has fared no better. One side has collapsed in on itself completely, and the other leans perilously to one side.
Well, we can look at the trees.
Let's approach the building.
Okay.
Whoops.
Weird.
You stride up to the middle of the yard when suddenly something knocks into you from behind, sending you sprawling across the dirt. You spin round to see a giant bat towering over you, its clawed wings spread wide with bloodied talons.
Guess the spell.
What can we cast?
You can shoot your fireball.
It costs 3 stamina though. Let's see, we got G-O-D. Illusion of worship. I don't think that would work on a bat. Gum, create glue. Yak, cause fear. Pop, create explosions. Mud. Quicksand. Quicksand wouldn't affect a bat. There's so many bad choices. Or a dud. Illusion of treasure. Here, bat, there's some treasure. Cause clumsiness. Requires 3 stamina. Cause slowness. Let's see.
Well, if you think you can fight it without costing 3 stamina, just fight it head on.
You know what we could do is we could... Oh, whoops.
Approach the other way.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem... The house doesn't seem to be an appropriate course of action. Okay, well, fine. Let's just draw sword. You draw your sword quickly and engage the creature.
Full strength?
Yeah, if we... Oh, that's right. You don't drag the bar. I always want to drag the bar, but you're supposed to drag the dude.
Right above to where you can't go.
Yeah. It defends. The bat's great wings buffet at your face, making it hard to see. You slash out at the creature, hoping to cut off its wings. As the bat flutters back out of reach, you do not harm the giant bat.
I mean, we did.
Ah, okay. Another chance follows. Pushing off a tree trunk, you thrust forward, catching the giant bat wide open. The bat is flying erratically now. Let's try again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. I doubt he can make an attack bigger than this. The creature is now afraid. Swinging up from a low crouch, you aim for the beast's heart, almost slicing off the bat's stinging talons. The giant bat can barely stay in the air.
Does it cost us stamina if we go higher than this?
I can't go higher than this.
Oh.
It costs you max stamina to attack,
Oh.
but doing 0 or less than 1.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Another chance follows. You cut a sideways blow. The bat falls to the ground and the light in its eyes go dark. Flawless fighting. We turn to face the house once more. The front door is as wide as 2 men and stands imposingly sealed. A small path winds around the back of the house.
We should go the front way.
The door. You stride up the steps to the door of the grand house.
Knock.
You walk up to the door and knock, just to make sure.
Knock again.
No one answers. You knock a second time, louder. As you wait to see if you will be answered, you notice a curious detail. There are deep grooves carved into the wood of the door, radiating outwards from the keyhole. It's as though something had exploded out through it, or perhaps attached itself on the outside to force its way in through the lock. A slate skitters off the roof and smashes itself on the ground to one side of you.
Look for the keyhole?
You drop to your knees and put your eye to the keyhole. At first you can see nothing, and then the darkness inside begins to take shape. You can make out a long, lonely hallway running back into the house. The walls are lined with framed pictures and the surfaces with expensive ornaments. It doesn't look like the house has been emptied at all. A wooden rail runs along in the inside of the hallway.
Try the door?
You try the door. Locked. Of course. A cool wind moves through the trees in the yard, making evil whispering sounds. What kind of spells can we cast? I know
Probably
there's one that
sense danger.
I know there's one that opens locks. Yeah, Dop opens locks.
Should we do
Requires
it?
1 stamina.
We can go around the side, but
It's that or bash it open.
or take the side entrance. Yeah, let's just spend the stamina.
But a locked door is of no consequence. Once you have woven your spell, the great oak door complains once and then gives way, swinging open to reveal a dark hallway beyond.
Nice. Classy.
You step inside the great stone house. A cold silence descends, quite different from the dusty heat outside. This place feels like it has not been lived in for decades, though judging by the lack of dust, it may not have been quite so long. Floorboards creak underfoot. At the end of the hallway is a sealed door. Is that a chink of light just visible beneath the frame?
Look at the light.
The light beneath the door flickers, now bright, now faint, as though a figure paced back and forth, its shadow coming and going, but you hear no footsteps.
Creep forwards.
You make your way along the corridor. The walls on either side are lined with large portraits of dusty-looking men and sour-faced women who sneer at you as you pass.
Wow, what lovely paintings.
The figures in the paintings are all finely dressed, but they also have knife scars on their faces and nicks in their ears. These must be the thief kings of Kare's murky past. You pass a large metal coal scuttle sitting against the left-hand wall.
We can look in.
You stop to look inside the scuttle, but the inside is blackened, and in the darkness it seems as though an infinitely deep pit was contained
We
inside.
should put our hand inside.
That seems like not good.
That's true. It's probably a trap.
I bet an infinitely deep pit is contained inside.
Yep. Kare is the city of traps.
You reach the far end of the hall. It is only a short way from the entrance, but all is now in shadow. The only light comes from the gap around the frame of the door in front of you. More darkness wells up to the right. You can just make out the first few steps of a flight of stairs leading upwards to the second level of the house.
Do the study.
Yeah, seems like a good idea. You push open the door and enter a wide, paneled room with a thick carpet. It is a study of some kind. The source of the light under the doorframe becomes quickly apparent. A roaring fire burns in an enormous grate on one side of the room. Let's look around. You search around the room. The furniture is grand, carved and stained and inlaid with patterns of goblin bone. But there are no possessions to be seen. No ornaments, no jewels, no treasure, and no sign of the owner. It's as if whoever lived here had moved out. Or more likely, as though the place had been thoroughly robbed. With the door shut, you would expect this room to be swelteringly hot, but like the rest of the house, it is icy cold.
That looks like a circle. Do you think it's dangerous?
It's not a perfect circle.
Okay.
You go over to the fire to warm your hands, only to find it emits no heat at all. It burns no fuel either. The enormous grate, large enough to roast a whole boar, is entirely empty of wood, ash, or coal. But the flames are nonetheless brilliant and as high as a man.
Danger?
No, not danger. It's fake.
Should we look or reach?
I say we reach.
Alright.
You reach a hand for the flames. They crackle and dance, and you expect a searing heat at any moment, but nothing happens. All you feel is the drought rising up inside the chimney. You step back. The fire is merely an illusion. So we step into the hearth.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, buddy. Stealing your courage, you duck your head and step into the grate. The flames surround you, their crackles whispering in your ears as though you stood in a pit of snakes. But you feel no heat, your skin does not blister, and your clothing does not ignite. You stand in the middle of the fire like some kind of demon and feel no ill effects at all. From here you can see that the hearth extends backwards much further than you might expect. Is it a tunnel? Or do you stand inside a trap, its jaws about to spring shut?
Here we go.
Well, there's no way it's a trap, because no one would go in there. You don't make a trap unappetizing. You creep forward across the grate, through the flames and beyond, into a low stone alcove hidden by the fire. The walls are made of solid slabs of stone. Solid slabs of stone! And there's nothing here. No treasure, no secret doors. On the far wall are a strange set of markings, a series of long grooves like scratches radiating outwards from a small hole.
Filigrams?
What kind of spells can we cast here?
Probably luminite.
I don't know if we can actually create light. Actually, I think that we can cast a fireball.
What's how?
How is find safe passage, which will tell us turn around, dum dum.
Fair.
Sus. Cause depression. It'll just make us depressed.
Yep.
Unless there's somebody hiding in here, in which case it'll make them depressed.
Don't do that.
There's open doors. Why? Why can we do that? Oh, because it's the same markings as the door. It's another door. What? No T? T is just false?
Not real.
I wonder if that's a...
Glitch.
No, not a glitch, but a spell we could have unlocked somehow. Let's try it up. Do you get what I mean?
You can even feel the engravings to make sure, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
You cast the spell across the grooved wall in front of you, but nothing happens. Perhaps it's not a door after all. Darn. Or perhaps it's locked with a fearsome magic your own spell cannot overcome? It is impossible to be sure.
Feel the grooves in the firewall?
Should I undo the health spend?
It's up to you. How fast can you click?
Yeah, pretty fast. That's fine. Oh, whoops. Ah. Eh.
Too fast.
Eh. Okay. You run your fingers through the grooves in the stone wall. They are a lot like the grooves you saw around the keyhole of the front door. They have been carved lightly and roughly, with a dagger point rather than a chisel perhaps, but the small hole at their center is much more cleanly formed. You put one finger into the small hole. You cannot find the bottom of it, and it seems polished and smooth. It looks like the bolt hole you might find in the stonework of a fortress doorway, except for its position in the middle of a blank wall. You look through your pack for something to use as a key. You try a key, but the hole is circular and has no space for the key's teeth. Not that it could possibly have turned, of course. You look for something else to try, but you find nothing.
I guess we don't have anything that can unlock this one.
What did we have? We've caused depression. I want to try shooting a fireball.
I mean, you totally can.
You cast the spell, creating a fireball of powerful heat and light in the palm of your hand. The dead end quickly heats up, but in the light you can make out a few suggestive cracks in the left-hand wall. It seems like one of the stones might move, but how? There is no way to tell. Then the fireball flickers and fades. The cracks fall into shadow once more, and the sweltering heat fades to your relief. So, you run your fingertips over the left wall, but can no longer find the cracks you saw in the light of your fireball. Well, I guess it's time to cast it again. What? Come on, this is a good idea. This is a great idea. Here we go. You cast the spell once more, and for a few moments can see the outline in the left wall again. Then the fireball flickers and fades. Wait. What? Wait, why? Why?
Now try to open the door.
Why didn't you do anything? Oh, now try to dop? I don't think so, because it's magic. It doesn't care if we can see the wall.
Oh, then yeah, it doesn't matter.
But might as well, since we've spent 6 health already. Oh.
So we have to do one fireball and one dot.
I wonder if How would do anything other than tell us to go back. Ah, there are 2 exits from this dead end. One is behind you. This way leads to the other side. Another is to your left, but you cannot see it or see how to open it. Now we cast Dop.
You can feel the grooves. I don't know if it'll work. You might have to cast Fireball. Let's see. You did it!
You cast the spell across the left-hand wall as guided by the voice that spoke in your mind. For a moment, nothing... Thank you, Gorilla. Praise be to Gorilla. For a moment, nothing happens, and then very slowly the stones begin to move. A passageway has opened to your left.
Get in there.
You peer through the secret passage, but can make out nothing but darkness beyond. You will have to go inside to find out what you have discovered.
Here we go.
Treasure. Slipping through the narrow opening, you find yourself in a slightly wider space. The walls are cool stone, and there are no windows, but the room is not dark. In one corner, an idol stands in a small shrine, lit by 2 candles which burn with thin, cold flames. This place reeks of death and decay. The shrine is covered in thin, blood-soaked strips of cloth. Let's look at the cloth. The bandages are each an arm span long and as deep as your thumb. As deep as your thumb. What?
As wide. So they're as long as an arm.
Okay. Okay, why deep as your thumb?
It's pretty weird.
Each is bloodied in 2 places, spaced a few fingers' width apart. There are 30 or 40 such bandages here, running down from the shrine like streamers. Someone was injured for a long time. Let's search the bandages. You sift through the pile of bloodied cloth strips quickly, stomach churning. Something gleams from within the pile, and you uncover a silver badge. It is the badge of a noble of Kare.
Cool.
Take it. The badge is solid silver and probably valuable to its owner should you encounter them. You place it carefully into your pack. You glance behind you, suddenly terrified that the secret door might swing shut and leave you trapped in this place.
Look at the shrine.
This shrine is poor and cheap, unlike everything else in this house. It seems to have been built hastily out of uneven stones and a plank of wood, and the small statue of a fat god that sits on it has been molded from humble clay. You're starting to get the jitters down here. Let's look at the god. It must be some local deity. At the base of the statue is the name Korga. Above his head is a plaque with short inscription, and on his face are painted 4 red dots. We read the inscription, of course. The inscription is scrawled as though in the hand of a child. You have to squint to read it. Give me back my eyes. This is straight out of the witch's house. The dots in the idol seem to have been dabbed with a fingertip. They are perhaps directions on how to worship the god, but there is no indication of what to do or in what order. Only the places, both eye, the 3rd eye in his forehead, and his mouth. There is nothing more to be seen in this terrible place. You slip back out of the small room, out of the fireplace, and into the hallway. Nice. So we got a badge, and we got a clue. Give me back my eyes. Why doesn't he have his eyes? Compared to the little room you've just left, the dark and empty hallway seems welcoming and friendly, but not so much that you plan to linger. Well, I guess the only thing to do is climb the stairs. You place your foot on the first step of the stairwell, and suddenly it begins to move. Is it alive? Some kind of thin, flat beast? Or is it a trap? Well, anyone would grab the handrail.
Stay still and try to balance.
You stop dead still as the stair moves underneath you and try to balance. It is not easy. You are definitely rising into the air and curving around the bends in the staircase as you go. As you reach the top, you see a corridor appearing, almost close enough to jump for.
Wait a little longer?
Wait a moment longer. The stair beneath your feet continues to rise. What will happen when it reaches the top? Will it crush you against the ceiling?
Jump off.
No, if it was going to crush us against the ceiling, it would be moving much faster than this, I feel.
Well, we can always undo.
You hold your nerve and wait a moment longer until the step reaches the top of the stairwell and then stops.
Oh, nice.
You step easily onto the upstairs landing and contemplate how paranoid you are.
I mean, it is Kare.
You look around. You are on an upstairs landing with doors on either side. Let's look in the bedroom for valuables. You step through a doorway into a simple bedroom. The bed is unmade and looks as though its owner left it in a hurry. Personal effects are scattered all over the floor, as if the place has been ransacked, which it probably was. A cane leads by the bedside. You see nothing else of interest. Well, I like the cane. The cane is a simple straight stick with a leather loop at the top to slip around the wearer's wrist. It does not look like any sort of weapon, and it does not appear to be magic.
Take it.
I want it. You take it, although you cannot think what it might be for. It's for the door.
Take it through the door, huh?
It's for the door in the fireplace. A second door leads further into the house, or you could return to the stairwell.
Oh, I see. So that's how you do it cheaply.
Yeah, we could go back and save ourselves some stamina.
It's up to you.
Although, I don't know, because it was the passage to the left that opened. It wasn't even the passage with the circle. So maybe that's something else. We should try it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
The further door leads to a bathroom. There is nothing in it, not even a mirror, only a gap where one used to hang. The only fixture is an empty iron bathtub in the middle of the tiled floor. Okay? You crouch down and peer under the bath. Something darts at your face and you leap back. Alright, this isn't it. Well, what if they what if the little rat got something shiny or something? I don't know. Run my sword under the bath. You draw your sword and swipe at it in an arc under the bath. Comes away clean. No blood and no hidden treasure. Wait, what? So you leave. Okay, hold on. I want to look again. Oh. Okay. That's good. It's a rat. That rat is gonna tell everyone where I am. That rat is gonna rat on me.
Rats don't talk.
They do if you know the right spells.
Mm-hmm.
This is a library in darkness. At the far end, a pair of eyes stare back at you. Oh. Well, let's look at the eyes. You step forward boldly, your own eyes fixed on those across the room from you. They do not blink. They do not even move as you approach.
These are probably the eyes for the statue.
Yeah. You stop and try to stare the creature out. This is agonizing work. A minute goes by and neither of you have blinked. You half draw your sword, indicating by your stance that you will pounce at any moment. The eyes do not react. Then you see why. They are the eyes of a large portrait that hangs over the far wall, in shadow but for a dim sunbeam falling through a gap in the roof above. The painting is of a proud and stern looking... I do love that I knew what it was and I still stared at it for a solid minute. Proud and stern looking man dressed in loose leather armor with a serpent emblem stitched along the length of one arm. The painting fills the entire wall of the room and must be twice the height of the man who posed for the likeness. You step back a little to regard the man in the picture. The most striking thing about him are his eyes. Cold and cruel, they seem to gleam with cunning and the will to survive. They are the eyes of a man who would harm you if it suited him, knowing full well what it was he did. Otherwise, he stands tall and proud, with one hand on the hilt of a sword, and the other wielding a tiny dagger. Everything about him reeks of power and of threat. The picture must be of the man that lived in this house. For anyone else, it would surely cast too long a shadow to live beneath. The eyes of the painting seem to follow you as you move. You raise one corner of the frame from the wall and peer up behind it, but it is too dark to see if there is anything hidden there. You grab the base of the painting between outstretched hands, then heft the frame up and off the hook that holds it to the wall. There is a moment where you think you have it under control. Then you are holding the true weight of the picture and begin to stagger backwards. But the weight of the frame is too much. You let go of the painting and it crashes to the floor, landing on your foot. You howl in pain As the painting teeters, then tilts until it is leaning once more against the wall. Alright. That was stupid. Let's leave.
Oh, I guess there's something else.
Okay, so let's do that in the reverse order.
I gotta maximize efficiency.
Okay. End of the corridor. Climb the stairs. Okay, we take the cane. And now we go. Okay. A keyhole. Insert the walking cane.
Nice.
You raise the walking cane and slip the tip into the small hole in the back of the fireplace. It fits perfectly.
Not necessary.
There is a... I'm sorry, what does that say? There is a... Oh, click. I'm sorry. I thought that said...
Okay, moving along.
For a moment, nothing happens. Then very slowly... Oh, okay. Yeah, passageway open to your left. Cool. Enter the passageway. Go get the thingy. I want the thingy. Give me the thingy. Give me the clue. Okay.
We did it.
We did everything there is to do. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Leave the house. I don't want to be here anymore.
Goodbye.
This house is home now only to ghosts. You hurry back out of the door into the Sunshiner's French garden. Schnosh. It was almost the hottest hour of the day. I don't think there's a point, because we don't want to be on this other path, right?
Right.
So... Alright. I think that's a good time to end for today.
Cool. Wrap it up.
Like those bandages.